Welcome back, everybody, to the Texas Stars Summer Interviews as we're joined here for our first of the 2013 offseason with Stars veteran forward, one of the originals, Francis Wathier, joins us in studio, I should say, or I should say the Texas Stars conference room. Everybody else is pretty much going to have to be over the phone, but you're here. You're actually staying in Cedar Park this summer. What made you stick around in Texas instead of going up for the little bit cooler summers up in Canada?
Well, two things this summer. My wife is pregnant with a little girl with her third baby, so we're expecting in August our new addition. So we're looking forward. So any type of flying or driving back to Canada was definitely out of the equation. I don't want to do that to my wife, obviously. So no, we decided to stay. With the circumstances, we decided to stay in Texas, and we're happy to. And second of all, we're building a house here in Austin, so we're in the building process right now. Should be ready, depending on the builder told us end of July. Contractor said aim for end of August. So hopefully, end of July we'll be able to move in our new house, and from there, have the baby at the beginning of August. So a lot of things going on this summer. We've been busy so far, just keeping up with the house. We go check up every night, to make sure everything's okay. And so it's our first real time, building. And so it's a great experience so far. So we're with Taylor Morrison, and they've been doing a good job so far. And, we hope that the building process keep going that way.
How long have you been doing it?
It started at the beginning of May, so right now,
Oh, wow.
Framing, foundation, the roof is all up, the shingles are done, electricity is supposed today, and plumbing was yesterday. So they're coming pretty fast. The wall should be closed in about a week or two. So
coming together.
Yes. So I think end of July will be our day. I think we're there every night, swooping and making sure that everything's clean. So they know that we come every night. So they're like, oh, we better get that one done before they're on their tails all summer.
It seems a little weird, but it takes less time to build a brand new house these days than it does to build a child. But you now going with your third, it got to be interesting. At least you guys timed it well, so it's in the off season, because it's a lot harder to try to not miss games, and obviously you'd have to miss games if it was being there for your child. But you started out, you're going on your 9th year pro.
Mm-hmm.
8 seasons in the books. You were not a dad when you started playing pro hockey.
Nope.
How has that changed? That's a big difference to have a family and 2 kids going on 3, as opposed to just being that single guy that's just out there to play hockey and really focus on just that.
Well, definitely you come out of junior and your main thing is to be a hockey player, and you got to adapt to the pro life, and saying that hockey is your job, and which is amazing. But the transition was pretty easy for me. My wife and I back in the day, we were together at the time. So when we moved in Iowa, was experience of both. We were experiencing the same thing at the same time, so it was fun. Got engaged, got married real early in my career, and she was the one. So I had to lock her down before somebody else does it. So it was important for me that she's part of my life, and she is the love of my life. So having baby kids were in our plan, and we didn't want to wait any time, and took a while with Sam. It took 1 year to make it happen, and it took 2 years with Zach, and then the third one was like, well, we'll make it happen. We'll see how long it takes, and boom, first time it worked. So planning, like you mentioned, was definitely not in our favor. In our plans. We were just.
But it worked out.
It worked out perfect. Yeah. Actually, it did. Was really happy that when she told me that we were pregnant with number 3, and it just happened on the first time. So life is can throw you a curveball. It takes a year or two. It's the first 1 and 2, and then the third one she wanted to arrive 18 months after Zach. So we're looking forward for a little girl, and to close our family.
A lot of players, when they have kids, is sort of later on in their careers, and sometimes not to the point where the kids are old enough to really grasp and appreciate what dad is doing on the ice, and being in the arena, kind of to see it and sort of have to more sort of tell them, well, this is what I used to do. You have the benefit of still playing, and at least your oldest and probably your other son now getting to the point where he knows what's going on. But how much more special is it when you have kids that now really know what dad's doing out on the ice and can get excited, can understand not just watching, but actually can really appreciate everything, and you know that they're out there watching while you're playing.
Oh, definitely. Sam is 5, so he understands everything. My wife brings the 2 boys at the warm up, and they really enjoy that. It's been something she's been doing since day one, game one here in Texas, and Sam's, first year he showed up with his Dallas Star jersey and his his goalie helmet. He had his goalie mask on, and now he's growing up, but he loves it, and he knows that Daddy's play hockey, and that's his job. And he understands sacrifices of me being on the road, and so it's part of his life now, and he completely understands it. And we shared the same thing. He plays hockey too. He plays in the mini mites down in Norcross, and I mean, he gets ready. I'm like, hey, Daddy's playing a game tonight, so he needs a nap. You need a nap too when you play hockey, so that's a good way to get him a nap, because come 5:30, 5:15, he gets pretty tired, on the ice. But no, he understands the good eating of pro athletes, and you got to eat your veggies and all your meat, to get strong like Daddy. So he completely understands, and that's we had Sam. I was 23 years old, so I was pretty young, but I was ready for that. I was ready for kids, and some people can say kids are maybe hard on a career. For me, I have a wonderful wife that takes good. She's a great mom, and I don't after games I just want to go home. I'm tired after the games, so I don't want to go to the restaurant or hang out for hours, So I'm happy just to be able to come back home to my kids and enjoy. And I'm a father, I'm a dad. That's my life, and I enjoy every minute of it.
You are one of only 3 players, as we get into some stats here, to play in every Texas Stars playoff game. 39 of them. There's only you, Maxime Fortunas, and Colton Sevier. Nobody else has played in every single game. Now, there are quite a few handful of guys, which is pretty special, that have played here for 4 years now, and Travis Morans of the world as well. Not a lot of teams in the AHL have that much continuity over the years. Guys start to come and go, and you see it in hockey. It's a very small community, but people bounce all over the place. How important has it been for you to be such a staple of this team? I mean, you're part of the group of players that have essentially built the Texas Stars.
Well, when you like a team and when a team likes you back, well, you want to keep that relationship going. In my early days, I got injured young, and Dallas did a good job, and I thank them for taking good care of my shoulders and making the surgery that needed to be done. And it was a tough time as far as my life and my career, but I bounced back, and I showed them that it was just not like, okay, well, it's no big deal, or it was a big deal. I wanted to show them I was coming back every time stronger than I ever been, and I was putting in the time in the rehab, putting in the time in the gym to come back, 110%, and I did, and I was happy to do so, and obviously so they are. Even if I was injured after my third year, they still gave me a contract, so I was good confidence on them, and at the same time I had something to show to them. So obviously that's that relationship is strong, and they gave me a first shot in the AHL, and I'm thankful for that, and I'm still looking for my chance. Obviously this year, it's a new start for a lot of us. If I look for me, I mean, the new GM, he's got a brand new set of eyes, and he knows me but doesn't know me. So it's my time to come at camp and show what I can do, and get a job. My goal. I'm getting older in the hockey world, but I still have a lot of fresh legs, and I'm ready to go. And experience-wise, I think it's good. I would be a rookie in the AHL, but I have a lot of bagging experience that you can't buy, and I'm definitely looking forward for that training camp next year and showing, just not having an opportunity, but showing what I can do. And I want to play in the AHL. That's my goal. And in the meantime, being here in Texas, I mean, there's no greatest place to play in the American League. This is a beautiful rink, beautiful fan base. They treat us good here. Our travel is really good. To be in the Western team that we do have to travel. Travel is really good, and being part of the Texas Star for the last 4 years has been great. We went through a lot of coaches, good coaches, some great years. Obviously last year, 2 years ago was a little disappointing. Not making the playoff, but this year we bounced back, and our core guys, me, Max, Mo, the guys that have been here for a while, Gazzy, Steves, we wanted to come back and show that, it was one season that we didn't want that to happen again. So be able to build on that, obviously, it's huge. I love to play here. The fans, like me. I like them back, and we made it home here. Texas is we can definitely call it home, and we have a lot of good friends, and we like I said, we want to go forward, and hopefully Dallas can be our new home next year.
You played your 10th game this year in the NHL. It was on April 1st against Anaheim. You actually made a trip to Los Angeles before that.
Yeah.
Didn't play, but you were out there. And then got a chance to get in that game. I think after the first call-up, you didn't think that you were going to play a game for Dallas this year. Was it a bit of a surprise to get up there and get that game in?
No, because that's your dream. You work so hard that you want to get back, and when the call is made, you're just not surprised. You're like, man, like, this is my chance, and we're ready for that. And it doesn't matter how old you are, it's always gets special. It can be your first or your 10 or your 100. It's always special playing AHL. So many guys takes it for granted that, I'm there, it's easy. But guys like us that bounce in American League for a long time, when you get there, you're so happy. You're so you want to do anything to stay there, and obviously that's everybody's goal, and that's my goal. And just happy, and I did my job. If doesn't matter if it's my last game in the NHL I'm gonna play, or I really hope there's a lot more going. But I left everything in that game, and I'm proud of what I did during that game.
What was the difference between that one and your debut? Anything other than the fact that you tried to relish it the same way, but did you notice a difference in temperament, nerves, excitement, family?
Yeah, obviously nerves. You're still nervous, but you're way more comfortable, and you're 4 years older as well, so you have more experience. You've been in, so that if you make a pass or if you miss something, you make a mistake, that it happens. It's a game, and it's going to happen. You just got to make sure it doesn't happen again, or make sure that you not put yourself in the position to make another one. So you got to learn fast. The NHL, you look at last night's game, a couple mistakes, and, Chicago got down by 1 or 2 goals, and credit to them, they played well, to come back. But it's and that's the thing. In the NHL, you make one mistake and it's probably going to be in the back of your net. In the American League, you make 1 or 2, the second one will get in your net. And then it's down the ladder for the rest of the leagues in juniors and stuff. But that's the thing. Good players makes good plays, and they make sure not to make it happen. They make sure to make it happen every shift.
You mentioned down the leagues. I have some things prepared for you. It's a fortunate thing because a lot of our summer interviews that we're going to do with guys that are under contract with Dallas and Texas, we have to do over the phone because of geographics. But because you're here, we can have a little fun with you. You played not that many games for Idaho, but I'm going to enlarge these for you here. I have some photos to show, Francis, of you won 2 championships in juniors with Quebec. And that was probably a pretty special time for you.
Yes.
But then came here. You're actually playing in the Stars organization prior to the Texas Stars, but it was 2007.
Yes.
And Idaho went to the Kelly Cup Finals. There's an old photo. A young Wathier.
22 years old.
Wearing a Steelhead shirt.
Yeah.
And then the ones that I wanted to show is that we saw this the other day, you hoisting the cup.
Yeah.
What was that moment like?
It was fun. My second year I was back from my first year injury, so it was a fresh start, a brand new season for me. So obviously I was excited, and went to Iowa and Dallas at the time. Signed a lot of players, so got in Iowa and really was not going to get a good chance of playing. Talking with Whitey, I was not going to chance that I need, and so he's like, it's either you stay here and play 1 game out of 4, or you go to Boise, and I just wanted to play, and so I went to Boise and stayed there for a couple months, and then got back right up in Iowa and played the rest 60 games in the season. So I was right back where I wanted to. But then came an opportunity. We lost in the second round in Iowa against the Chicago Wolves, and then I was on the roster for Boise for Idaho, and they asked me if I want to come back. He's like, "Oh, take your time." I'm like, "Well, when's your next game?" He's like, "Tomorrow." Whitey's like, "Tomorrow." He's like, "I'm like, well, I'm gonna fly in tomorrow morning. I'll play tomorrow night." So got there and played 2 games. We won the conference final, and then went to the final against Dayton, and we won it there. So it was a special moment because it was a great group of guys. A lot of guys in that team are in the AHL now.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because you played with Greg Rallo here in Texas.
Yep.
He was a big part of that team.
Yes.
This guy here, Jay Beagle.
That's a funny story.
He's a big guy. I mean, those are 2 big guys right there. You and he celebrating a championship.
Yeah.
We're looking at this photo. I remember Beagle because he played for Hershey for a while, and now he's actually latched on for the last couple of seasons with Washington, their NHL affiliate. He's a guy who was playing fourth line minutes for Hershey, and now he's got about 130 games in the NHL.
You know, that season he just came out of college, and when I got back, that's when I kind of took his spot. So kind of funny how things can work. And obviously, you know, I talked to him before when I arrived, and you know, I apologize. And he's like, hey, you know, you deserve to be here. You work hard all season. It's like, I'm just glad to be here and be part of this team and great experience. But that's funny how it is. You know, you know, he worked his way up from, you know, playing the coast that season, went to Hershey, and now he's their best in Washington. He's their best face-off man. You know, not the past series, but last year, if I remember against Boston, I mean, he was on the ice every face-off in the D zone, and that's something that you credit for. You know, the guy, you know, probably was skilled when he was back in junior and college, but you got to know a role, and that's what happened. You got to get your role, and to be able to fit in the NHL, you need to make that role your bet. You know, the best player that you can be at that role, and you know, you got to fit in, and that's what he's doing in Washington. I'm really proud of him.
Interesting. This is how small the hockey world is, and it works with every player. You can always come up with something. In that final, you guys beat Dayton, as you said.
Yeah.
You knocked off a guy who you beat this year in the Milwaukee Admirals in Scott Ford. And we actually caught a picture of him and you embracing during the end of series handshake line, which is one of the greatest acts of sportsmanship in hockey and all of sports. You've now gotten him twice in the playoffs. I know that this didn't lead to the championship, but I mean, that's amazing that, you know, you separate, I think it's 6 years, and there you guys face each other again at the next level.
I have great. I mean, we're not friends, but you know, we've been knowing each other for a long time. We fought each other for a long time, so I have just great respect for Scott Ford. I didn't remember he was playing for Denton, though, so that's an eye opener. But
you forget that stuff too.
Yeah. But he's been playing for Milwaukee as much as I can remember. I think even in my Iowa days, just got a lot of respect for that man. You know, he's kind of the same type. You know, kind of worked his way up, and he's nothing fancy, but he's definitely a great leader. He'll fight for his team. He'll block shot. He'll do anything. And you know, through the years now, we're getting, you know, seasoned friends, you know, as far as on the ice and after games, you know, we shake hand, and just a great person. And you know, obviously he was wishing me good luck, and he was kind of happy. He's like, well, if we're done now, I'm happy I'm not going to see you in the corner anymore. So kind of things like that. And
you guys really went after him too.
Well, I go after him every time, and I know he's coming in front, and he's going to lay that lumber in my back. So it's a great things are like last year. Tyler Sloan was playing for Milwaukee. Did not know him at all, and I used to hate him because I used to hit him so hard and ask him to fight, and he would never want to. But then he would slash me behind the knees, and I would retaliate and get a penalty. So he was really smart. And same thing with Antoine Roussel last year. Just a little bugger that I fought, and
we couldn't find the photo.
I beat him up pretty good. To this day, I can say I beat him up pretty good. And now this year I can call him one of my really, really good friends on this team. So it's a small world. You know, we're playing a game, and but you know, definitely when you're on the ice, it's definitely not the person that you are. You know, obviously it's two different things, and you know, you can relate that in hockey or guys like that.
When you look at that series, Stars played pretty well. You only gave up 5 goals the whole series. You only scored 7. It was really low scoring. The goaltending was phenomenal between Hellberg and Nilstorp. Going into the second round, and this is where it starts to get uncomfortable because I know that everybody is still frustrated. It kind of let it go, but you can't.
No.
I can't, and I'm only the broadcaster. You get through the first round, and you face Oklahoma City. It's one of the few teams that have actually had a winning record during the regular season, but confidence had to be very high from the team at that point.
Definitely. I mean, Milwaukee was tight. I mean, on both teams, you know, it could have gone either way, to be honest. You know, you know, they were playing well. I believe we were playing better, you know, when we had the advantage. So I think that we deserve to be credited with that win. And, you know, they played a really good system like we did, obviously. Against Oklahoma City, to be honest, I really believe that Denis steal the series. He did not, you know, you asked a goal to steal one game out of the series. He stole the series. He made some unbelievable save on their top players. Like Fraz had some great looks. Seaves, Mo. I mean, there's so many guys that they look back, they missed chances. They did the best of the chance they had, and he still did. So I believe he was way stronger. And I kind of look at the clip against Grand Rapids, and he was their best player against us, and obviously he was solid against Grand Rapids. But the goals that he let in was not goals that he let in against us, definitely. So that's the way it works. That's where he beat us, and this team beat us. You gotta learn. You gotta learn that there's nothing credited to you. You gotta make sure that you bring everything to every night, and we did. Our team battled hard. I mean, even our coaches, everybody was proud of our group. We accomplished a lot of great things during the regular season. Obviously disappointing in the playoff, but you look back. That's a step that we did from last year. Obviously our goal is to win the Calder Cup. We didn't accomplish that. We'll follow back and do it next year. But
that's the question, because you mentioned great turnaround from a team that finished, well, let's face it, last in the conference, second to last in the league.
Yes.
It was the first time that the Texas Stars, in 3 years of being in existence at that time, hadn't made the playoffs. And you guys weren't happy about it.
Definitely
you had
not.
a coaching change. You bring Willie and Doug in. What a difference. The team is in first place overall. It wasn't a good start, but it really kicked in about late November, and then you guys really around Christmas and into the new year turned it on. But to win the South Division for the first time, to be the number 1 seed in the West, and get to the playoffs and win a series again for the first time since the year that you went to the finals was a really remarkable. It's a great season. That being said, you go to as we record this today, the finals, Grand Rapids Syracuse, starts tomorrow. Are you pretty unfulfilled?
Oh, definitely. Until the
it still sits in the stomach, doesn't it?
Of course. You watch every day and you're like, oh, I wish I could be there, still playing. It's always in there. Especially you look at teams that you beat during the season. In Grand Rapids, I think they're playing unbelievable. I mean, they're having, and then with Nyquist and Anderson, I mean, they're unbelievable, solid. Those two are good NHL players, and now at the American League they're able to make some good stuff. So,
but
I wish
you could be there.
I wish I could have played Grand Rapids, instead of Oklahoma City, because I would like our chances as well. I really believe that our team was going to get to the final this year, and then I really believe that once we get against Syracuse, it's going to be a game of who's the best at the moment, not who's the best team, who's the best at the moment.